It's normal now to lose your job overnight and half the time no one can even out. Did you know that it's harder to recover from the identity you created around your career than the actual loss of the job? Okay, I want you guys to stick around to the end because I will give you a sneak peek into the most asked question. What does this mean for the next generation of professionals? Who will be the next set of employees and what will they bring to the table? Okay, quickly. Can you guys guess the most asked question in our society? I'll give you 5 seconds in the comment section below. Think about it. The most common question. It's actually, so what do you do? As humans, have we ever questioned why we center our conversations and values around our career? What I've noticed is what we do for a living determines where you fall on this invisible career scoreboard that everyone acts like doesn't exist. Well, wake up, reality check, it's there. The system tells us who to be, and that looks like a student, an employee, a manager, an entrepreneur. And without it, I mean, the title. Most people don't know who they are. Let's be honest. And if you don't believe me, do this real quick. Try this real quick. Try explaining who you are without using your job title. You'll probably freeze after like 3 words. I know. Now I made it super uncomfortable between me and you because you're probably thinking, who the hell am I? See, what happened here is we identify that your title isn't just a description. It's a definition, my friend. You are a teacher. You are an engineer, a designer, a manager. Those words tell people what you are worth, how stable your life probably is, and where you fit in society. Well, good news, or bad, depending on how you view life. That system is collapsing, not just because of layoffs or automations, but because the thread between work and identity is breaking in real time. And that's leaving a lot of people quietly asking the same question over and over. If my job disappears, what do I really want out of life? What do I want to do? So how did we get here? How did work become the thing that defines us? Who did this? Shouldn't it be, oh, she's creative, or her energy is infectious, or some earthly superpower that is uniquely embedded in you? Nope. It's, what does she do for work? I think I got that a lot in my comment section, actually. Well, this didn't happen overnight. You and I were raised into it, programmed actually. From the time we were kids, we were told the goal was simple. Get good grades, get into college, get a good job. That was our meter of measuring success amongst us. Everything was designed around preparing us to be employable. And if you believe in the rat race, it kind of made sense. But let me pause for a second. Education and the desire of knowledge is actually really important. So if you are a student and you're watching this and you're in school, it is not a waste. Okay, well, hold on. Hold on. That is debatable at the collegiate level for few majors. But I'm not here to talk about that today. We're not going to talk about that today. I'm not going to do it to you guys. You need to learn subjects like history, math, and anatomy. That is very important. So you understand the basics of life. You can't skip over that. But most of us, before you were programmed in a way to believe if you played by the rules, the system took care of you. We didn't have to question it. But fast forward a few decades, as you got older, you kind of realized, this seems a little bit off. Loyalty doesn't guarantee stability. And at least anymore, you can be amazing at your job and still get replaced, restructured, or budgeted out. So now people who do everything right, looking around, and they're saying, well, wait, why do I still feel disposable? Didn't I work the hardest? And this is where it gets a little interesting. And I blame our generations before us. Our parents and grandparents built their entire lives around stability. Work wasn't just about money. It was about security, belonging, and status. Your job title decided how the world saw you and how you saw yourself. We inherited that mindset, but unfortunately, we did not inherit the stability that came with it. Today, we're still chasing identity through career titles in a world where the titles are democratized and limiting. That's why so many people are stuck in this identity rut right now, trying to figure out, who am I? They're trying to find a sense of purpose inside a system that doesn't even guarantee survival anymore. It's like we're all trying to play a game where the rules quietly change and no one told us. You know what's interesting? When people talk about the future of work, layoffs, automation, AI, it's always framed like an economic story. The real story isn't just economic, it's psychological. Because when your job disappears, it's not just your paycheck that goes away, it's the identity. You've spent years introducing yourself through that title. Now, what the hell are you supposed to say? I'm in between jobs. I'm laid off. Well, guess what? People are still going to ask you, what did you do before you were laid off? You see how it's like an endless program loop? You built your routine, your reputation, your sense of worth around that role. And when it's gone, it's like silence within the conversation. No one has a rebuttal for you. Well, maybe, how's the weather? Will work now. But here's the deeper question. Why does losing a job feel like you're losing yourself? Even Plato talked about this thousands of years ago. He said that work, when done with purpose, is part of the soul's alignment with meaning. It's not just about doing tasks, it's about contributing to something that feels necessary. And when that contribution is gone, the soul feels misplaced. Let's deep dive into that thought though. Why does the soul feel misplaced? Here are my theories. First, we confuse doing with being. We built entire lives around output, around results, around performance. Somewhere along the line, productivity replaced purpose. So when the doing stops, even for a moment, we start to wonder if we still matter without the output. Second, we were raised to believe work was the proof of our existence. Think about it. Since childhood, we were rewarded for achievement, gold stars, grades, promotions, all signals that said you mattered because you did something. So when you're not achieving, it just feels off, like you're not moving forward. That's not failure, by the way, that's conditioning. And third, we outsource meaning to the market. We started treating self-worth like it could be validated externally through titles, salary, job offers, performance reviews. That's why the soul feels misplaced, because it's been living in someone else's framework, chasing purpose inside a system designed for profit and not for fulfillment. Here's what I think. You stop trying to find and seek purpose and start making it up as you go, kind of intentionally. I was watching this video a couple nights ago, and this one thing stuck with me, and I've been saying it ever since. The most ironic outcome is the most likely outcome. And if I ever looked at my life, nothing I planned ever came to be the way I wanted it or planned it. It came out the least likely. So with that knowledge, what I'm really trying to get at is you can't plan life and expect it to follow the pattern in your head. It never does. And the more you cling to how it's supposed to go, the harder it hits when it doesn't. You have to detach yourself from the results, from the titles, from the validation, because the way forward doesn't involve the perfect plan. You have to know how to read the signs, spot the patterns, and adjust, because the goal isn't to have the plan work out exactly as you pictured. It should be to become the kind of person who can handle it when it doesn't. And that's where iteration come in. And I love the word iteration. It's like my favorite word. See, in tech, iteration is how progress actually happens. You launch the first version knowing it's not perfect. You expect it to break. You should never fully plan towards the end, because in life, things change that we have zero control over. It's best practice if you gather feedback, study what worked, fix what didn't, and try again. And every new version should get smarter because of what went wrong before. Most of us want the final version of ourselves on the first try. And, that's fair. But because of that, we end up treating our mistakes like setbacks instead of updates. Let me tell you the hard truth. We're all in beta. We're all trying to figure out life. Matter of fact, we're on this floating planet in between a black hole that can suck us in or the sun that can, well, never mind. I want to give you guys a sneak peek into our conversation for the next video. What does this mean for the next generation of professionals? Let's talk about what's happening behind the scenes at places like Meta, Google, Amazon, Tesla, and other tech giants, because I believe they are setting precedent for how other companies are going to move forward. They're spending tens of hundreds of millions just to bring in a handful of people. Why? Because those people don't just write code or manage campaign. They bring some sort of leverage. They bring network effects, domain insight, domain generalism, judgment, pattern recognition. See, they can connect product, business, people, culture, and that, my friends, is rare. Here's what I see in their hiring strategies. They're paying for these weird edges. The sweet spots is no longer years of experience in blah, 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 blah. It's someone who has cutting edge expertise plus another field. So like design plus psychology, marketing plus systems thinking, ethics plus AI. If there's one thing I've realized is that we've been taught to chase stability in a world that's built to change and will change. And maybe that's why so many people feel lost right now, because the system we were told was never meant to stay still. But that doesn't mean we're powerless. It just means the definition of progress is changing. It's not about climbing anymore. It's about adapting. Not about finding your forever job, but learning how to keep building new versions of yourself when the old ones stop working. We keep talking about how AI is replacing humans. And maybe one day it will. But the real evolution is internal. It's learning how to think, build, and reinvent like the systems we create. Because the truth is, we're all in iteration. We're all experimenting, updating, debugging, trying to make sense of a world that makes and moves faster than our own plans. And maybe that's the next era of success. It isn't about just mastering one thing. It's about staying curious enough to keep learning everything that comes after it. What do you guys think? Where are you at in life? And I want you in the comment section to describe to me, what do you do without explaining in a job title? What do you do? Do you see how that's an awkward question now? I love our conversations like this. I feel like it's really personal. And I feel like I'm getting to know you and you're getting to know me. Anyways, I am so excited to dive into more topics with you guys. I think we have a lot of things coming in the future. So leave your comments below, your thoughts, and go check out my previous videos. Yeah. All right. Later.